man.
Let me just get that off my screen. I've got it. All right, there we go. Just inviting a little heaven and earth, connecting to that. And then we'll bow in. Onegaishimasu. All right, let's start with some heaven and earth breathing. Reaching way up and extending way out. Now our containment breath, letting it build in our hara and then slow release. And let's begin to move from our hara. Okay. And as we do this movement, imagining lights in our fingertips, ki flowing through our arms, coming up from the earth, down from the sky. Just try to imagine it radiates way out into the world. And without any effort, invite a little more. Let it get a little stronger, just through inviting. Okay, and bringing that to a close and standing in it for a moment, sensing the flow around us and through us. And now let's stretch our sides. And all the way around. Reversing. Stretch our low backs, drop the shoulder in. Okay, and circles with our hips. In both ways. And now our knees. In both ways. Stretching the backs. And if you're comfortable, the front. And again. Okay. Let's do our Ikea stretch. Settling down, lengthening up strong hips and opening our hearts. Other side. Softening around the stretch. And Kuraish. and Nikyo. Another side. And stretching the inside of the arms. Nice, let's shake them out. And over our heads, really shake them all the way down to our toes vibrates. And let them fall 3 times. And again. And let them fall. Big circles. In the shoulders. And our core, working our core a little bit. Okay. Big triangle, extending all the way out. And let's go together and back, together and back. Let's imagine that we have a portal in our backs. And we can invite Aichi spirit, universal energy, Takemusu Aiki to flow through us. Imagine our arms are hollow, our fingers are hollow, and the ki is like light or liquid, extending way out through the wall. Invite some down from the sky, some up from the earth. Let it come through us. 2 more. And let's just stand in it for a moment, see if you can still sense the triangle and the ki flowing through you. And let's do some 2 steps. And 1, 2, 1, 2. As we turn, lights in our fingers, ki flowing through our arms. Sensing the ki all around us like a warm breeze, like energy moving us through space with ease. Open our heads to the sky, open our feet to the earth. Two more. And let's hold for a moment and just stand in it. See if you can sense the ki flowing around you and through you. Nice. And let's do rowing. Let's do low sword blade this evening. So let's charge our sword blades up so we have that sensation from the little finger to the elbow. Okay, let's start. Extend it out, find the point, gather back. Reaching out, gathering back. Sending joyful perseverance out. Gathering joyful perseverance back. Find the point you're extending to. Imagine it's coming behind you, from below you, above you. The whole sword blade extends out, gathers back. Two more. Okay. Let's reach up. Take some ki from the sky, bring it down to our hara. Concentrate into our hara point. Imagine it gets smaller and smaller until it's a tiny point that opens out into the universe. And you're vibrating with the universe. And stop. Continue to sense the vibration for a moment. Nice, let's try the other side, other harmony. And extend out, gather back. Feel the whole sword blade from the elbow to the little finger extending. The ki is coming from the earth, from the sky, from behind us, and it flows out into a point, and we gather it back. Joyful perseverance. Two more. Okay, one more time. Let's reach up. Take some ki from the heavens, bring it down, vibrating our hara. Imagine our hara point and our abdomen getting smaller and smaller. And when it's tiny, it opens out into the universe. And we're vibrating with the universe. And stop for a moment, see if you can still sense the vibration, the universe inside you. Okay. Oh, well, nice to see all the ladies. I'm glad we're here. So, Takemusu Aiki. In this little book that I'm reading from this Dutchman, it pervades the whole book. It's quite esoteric. But I'm just going to read some stuff and then we'll talk a little bit about it and then we'll do an exercise as usual. Take stands for bravery, the irrepressible, indomitable courage to want to live. Musu stands for birth, growth, completion, and fulfillment, the life stages of an organism. I'm going to read that one more time because it's actually esoteric, but it's kind of cool. Take stands for bravery, the irrepressible, indomitable courage to want to live. Musu stands for birth, growth, completion, and fulfillment, the life stages of an organism. Okay, there's lots more, but I'm going to stop there and just check in because I think that's kind of a cool definition. And it's a little more complex than some of the other definitions. So I'm curious if any of you have any thoughts about that definition, that take, bravery, the indomitable courage to live, and Musu is birth, but also growth, completion, fulfillment, the life stages of an organism. That's a very cool thought.
Sensei, it seems to me that they're pointing to words towards finding purpose and meaning in life. And to get to, if you can find those kinds of things or build your purpose and build your meaning, it can make for a fulfilling life within that, which is a sort of an eternal struggle for most human beings.
I think you're right. And from an Aiki point of view, it's to create one world family, peace kind of a thing is the general emphasis. But I agree with you. I think that is what those words represent in a larger sense of being a human.
Sensei?
Yes.
Is it possible that you could put that down on paper for us or something and send it to us? Because the spelling of the words, everything. I mean, that's a lot of juice in what you just said. That's a lot. And it'd be really nice to really be able to hear it and see it.
It is. If I were more skillful, I would type it and put it in the chat box. I'm not that skillful to type it up right now. If any of you are fast typers, you could do that. If not, I can send it. How should I send it, Greg?
If you send it to me email, I can put it in the chat because
Oh,
I
that'd
can
be so
copy and
nice.
paste.
That'd be so nice. Thank you.
I don't have an email. I have it here.
Oh, then we can't do that.
I do have an email, but it's on my other computer. It's not on this computer. This is my work computer, and it's on my personal computer. But I'll just say it one more time. Take stands for bravery.
How do you spell it? I mean, I don't know.
Takemusu Aiki.
Strikey?
Takemusu Aiki.
Oh, Kate Musu Aiki.
T-A-K-E. Take.
Take.
Yes, that stands for bravery.
Okay.
Indomitable courage to want to live. And then Musu, because it's Takemusu Aiki, you've probably heard that. Anyway, most. In this case, Musu stands for birth, but he goes on to take it further. He says not only birth, but the continuum of growth, completion, and fulfillment, which he's pointing to are the life stages of an organism. As we go through life, we're born, we grow, hopefully some kind of completion and fulfillment. I would think, yes, go for it, Michelle.
Well, so Takemusu Aiki has been fascination, exploration of me for many, many years. But I've always gone with the musu, meaning birthing, translation that I was given. So this week I went to my library, and here is The Heart of Aikido, The Philosophy of Takemusu Aiki, Morihei Ueshiba. So these are selections from John Stevens. And at the back is a glossary. And it says Takemusu Aiki is the life-generating force capable of unlimited transformations. So when I read that unlimited transformations, it evoked what you just were reading about the life cycle.
Yes, nice.
Infinite, that cycle of infinite possibility and transformation. So I really like this one, the life-generating force capable of unlimited transformations. And then for O-sensei, it says, Takemusu Aiki is code for the boldest and most creative life possible, which is kind of what Greg was
I
saying.
have that saying, the boldest and maximum creative life.
Yeah.
I'm going to read one more. Takemusu, it's then is the birth of a shared identity, a realization and creation of our inherent unity and oneness. And then I think I read this over the New Year's training, but this is seen in the dojo on a smaller scale in our joyful and dynamic interaction in training, sometimes to a greater or lesser degree, but nevertheless, it can be tasted and recognized. And I liked that when he talked about it can be tasted and recognized, that sense of shared identity and a joyful dynamic interaction. So for me, it has a lot to do with, and something that I work on a lot, as you know, how to connect to universal energy. Like, how do we connect to something bigger than just what's our flesh and bones and our muscle capability? And there's one more I'll read, and then we'll have a little exercise. One must be able to allow oneself to be carried along with this cosmic life stream. Carried along with a cosmic life stream. I think that's lovely. So, any thoughts before we go on to an exercise on anything around Takemusu Aiki or in general, how we access universal energy?
How do we access it? How about we just breathe it in? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
You mean like key, or do you mean like how do we blend with it and become a part that we blend with it, that we become it, that we go in, we blend with it?
Yes. What I'm pointing to is, though, Sensei talked about in some of his words, when someone attacks me, they're defeated before they begin because they can't attack the universe, and I am the universe. So that's a big thing. And so if it's too vague, if it's just universal energy, I find it becomes inaccessible because it's too big. It's like space itself is huge, but space as a circle or space as a triangle. Or we talked last time about what I focus on. I focus on an aspect of space around my partner. That I can start to work with space that way rather than just all of space. So all of the universe is also a lot. And so one thing that I was wanting to work with is on class. I was working with Adam, and he was doing the exercise, and he was getting a little frontal. So I went over and I touched his back, and there's the movie, where he has the thing in his chest, Iron Man. Okay, so in the Iron Man movies, he's got this thing in his heart because he has shrapnel, and it's this glowing thing. And so I said to Adam, imagine that you have that portal in your back behind your heart. And it's the portal behind your heart. And so between every technique, stand up and connect to the portal and let that come through. And it was really kind of a way to help him get his attention off of his uke and connect to something bigger, because rather than just open your back, which is great, but also that's bigger and vague, the idea of a portal, something maybe about this big in the back of his heart. So what I'd like to work on tonight is working with that portal behind our heart. We'll do that behind our hara, and then behind the back of our neck. And we'll do it in 3 different ones just to see if one of those, which one, if any, or which one gives you more a sense of connecting to something. So, so to start with, we're going to work with the one behind our heart, but let's come to standing. And let's start by just aligning ourselves a little heaven and earth. So opening the bottoms of our feet and the tops of our head, and just feeling heaven and earth spiraling through us like a double helix. As we breathe, we inhale up from the earth, and then we exhale, comes down from the sky. And then let's extend our arms out and send some ki out your fingertips way, way out. Stay with it and just really imagine your keys going way out. Now, I want us to step forward, doesn't matter which foot, and make a triangle. And as you make the triangle, connect to that portal behind your heart, an opening. It's like a doorway or portal, and invite some universal ki, life spirit, universal energy to come through that portal, through your arms, and then see if you can do an extension gesture. And just extend out like you were going to meet a yokoman or something. And then connect to that portal behind your heart and let it come through you. And just have a sense of what that's like to run the energy through your heart, through your arms, and out your fingers. Nice. And let's just drop it and shake it out a little bit. Okay. Next one, let's do the back of our hara. So our low back. And again, we're going to look at a portal probably about this big. Imagine that. It's going to be in the back of the hara. But first, that's a line between heaven and earth. Inhale up from the earth. Exhale down from the sky. Imagine the breath of heaven and earth running through you. And then extend your arms out. And let the ki run way out through your fingertips, way out. Just push it out, really get it going. Imagine it goes way, way out. Okay, and now when you're ready, either foot, step forward, make a triangle. And as you make that triangle, invite the universal energy to come through the back of your hara and then out through your arms and fingers. And then make the gesture. So it's a kind of an entering gesture, an extension gesture like you would meet a yokomen. And just invite the ki to come through the back of your hara, through your arms, out your fingertips. Just have a sense of what that's like to run the ki from that point through you out into the world. Okay, and shake it out. We're going to do one more with the back of the neck. Okay, let's start again. Ula, did you want to stop? Oh, no, you're okay. Okay. Yeah, so just standing a little bit stable between heaven and earth. Invite a breath up from the earth, out the top of your head from the sky. The breath comes down, the exhale through the body into the earth. Take a couple of breaths, spiraling heaven and earth through you. And now extend your arms out. And see if you can really extend out through your fingers. Just imagine the ki going way, way out. Get it out there. Push it out. And then when you're ready, you're going to step forward and make a triangle. And this time, the portal is in the back of your neck. And invite that ki to come from the back of your neck through your arms and fingers. And then one more time, make this gesture, this extension gesture. You can meet a yokomen, you could reach out, you could connect to a shomen. And it comes from the back of your neck, through the back of your neck, through your arms, through your fingers, out your fingers, and you're running universal energy through you. Okay, and let's stop and check in. So I'm curious to see if there was any difference for you from using the back of your heart, the back of your hara, or the back of your neck as a portal to invite ki to come through.
Sensei,
Yes.
the heart one was the easiest one for me.
Okay.
It was, to really, it's getting better after, many years of practice to be able to actually go to those places at all. It's just quite amazing. So, but the one at behind the heart or behind the hips in that area, I couldn't do that as well.
Okay.
I felt that, or the neck, that was really interesting, the neck one, because I have never done with that at all with the neck, with my neck, and I have a tweak here. So that it was really good. I'll do that some more.
Yeah, you can play with it. I encourage people to put the portal on the back of the neck when I see them dropping their head a lot during waza. Because a lot of people will drop their head, and if they put the portal in the back of the neck, it brings their head up.
Yes.
It helps this to open up a little bit if the person has the habit to be doing their practice that way. Thanks, Kat. That's I appreciate it. Yeah. Anyone else? Did you notice any difference, and did it have any juice for you?
Well, I had a fun surprise. When I had the portal at the back of my neck, I felt my declaration coming through, my voice.
Nice.
That was a lovely surprise. And and just that spirit of contribution and being a part of that flow, benevolent energy. With my heart, I experimented with trying to do it and then opening the portal, kind of like opening and closing the portal. And when the portal was open, my hands were just throbbing. And then I would close the portal and just the energy stopped in my hands. And I went kind of back and forth. So that was consistent.
Interesting.
And then with the hara, I felt like one with the earth and so much support and relaxation. So those were my variations, and so fun to play with them. Thank you.
Yeah. And the idea is, we can continue to play with them and see if we can develop one more capacity. Thanks, Michelle.
Sensei,
Yes.
I think your word for the year is bravery. Am I correct?
No, that was courage was last year.
Yes.
Yeah, it was last year. So this year it's a joyful perseverance for the dojo.
Oh, the bravery and the courage went together. I see. Okay. So say that again. The last, what you just said is this year.
So our quality for this year for the dojo, the theme is joyful perseverance.
Joyful perseverance. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
That's nice. Great. Joyful perseverance.
Any other thoughts? Elizabeth, Greg?
You know that the thing that Greg said is a really big thing, and at this time in my life, what Greg was saying about purpose, and you talking about bravery and courage and everything, and the meaning, having meaning in your life, because at this point, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, and that's therefore perseverance.
Yes, it is. So it's
therefore we want to hang in there with it.
Yeah, so practice. We have practice.
Yeah, and also not just hang in there in a dull way, but hang in there in a cheerful way.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? Joyful way. As Elizabeth said last week, why not?
The posture has so much to do with all this, don't you think? Really getting lined up, and wow, for me, that's been a long thing.
Yeah.
Keeps going. Thank you. Sorry, I'm talking too much here, I think.
Just want to check in to see if any of you other three have any thoughts before we do another little movement with it.
Well, it's a little hard for me to get into the esoteric stuff. And the openings, I have one in my my lower back, but that's about it, Sensei. The heart one and the neck portals are not present, or I couldn't find them at least.
Well, one of the things you could play with if you're interested in finding them is to ask your partner occasionally to put her hand on your back behind your heart. And just feel the warmth of her hand, and without making a big deal out of it, just connect to that sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the reasons, is we don't often have the sensation as a reference point. That can make it harder. So if you could just, have her put her hand there for 60 seconds or something, and you could just feel the warmth of the hand, the pressure of the hand. And then when she takes it away, then you could sort of try to sense, oh, that's a place I can invite something to come through.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, because so years ago, I worked with a woman who had been abused very badly, and she had what we call frozen pelvis. She walked very stiff, and we worked a lot on it, and she couldn't sort of move from that area for obvious reasons. But one day she came in and she was walking and she was really moving from her hips. And I said, my God, Candy, what happened? Because it was, sort of an overnight thing, which is very rare. She said, I have an ace bandage around my hara. I can feel it. And she was the one who taught me you can't move from a place you can't feel. So if we don't have a sensation there, it's harder to have a sense of inviting that or shifting. The hara is easier because we can actually put our hand there. And because we may have done this so much in our practice, that there's a there for some of us. But the back of our heart, maybe we don't have much memory of support. So that's worth playing with, I think. Because we want, I mean, for my interest is I want to be able to connect to the key in different places in my body. I mean, I want it to come through my whole body, but that's, you know, if I can just, that feeling of, you know, pushing against a wall and then stepping away and feeling the extension. So with people, one way to get extension is to push against something. You push, you can feel the sensation of the pressure of your arms. And when you step away, oh, you can still feel that pressure coming through your arms. It's the way I used to teach extension to people who were having a hard time, because they can, that pressure gives them sensation.
I'd like to offer something that's been helping me from my Qigong study, which is putting the hands on the back, and right here along the spine is right behind the navel or the hara.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that a lot, and it's really helping that portal and the fullness of my hara wake up.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a nice thing to, and it feels just so good. It's the kidneys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that a lot because I get sore and stiff back there. So I sometimes just do this with my hands too, so that gives me more awareness of the whole back of my hara.
Yeah, I'm benefiting a lot from it.
So let's, even though Elizabeth, you're not getting much bang for your buck out of this, if you want to try it, I thought we could do a couple of moments of just 2 steps and see what it was like to move. So just maybe, I don't know if you can reach, but giving yourself a little like something there, a little behind you, and then moving from that place in the 2-step. What's it like to move from there? And then we'll switch to the hara. And then you can put your hand on the back of the neck. You can try just putting your hand there, giving yourself a little tapping, and then moving from there. Sometimes just the sensation itself wakes that area up. So back of our heart, if you can reach up there and tap that a little bit for yourself, if you're that flexible. And then let's just take a moment and we'll do a few turns. Moving from that place behind your, in the back, behind your heart. And as you do it, see if you can have a sense that that place connects you. It's coming from something a little bigger. Maybe the night sky is behind us. And the night sky is moving us. A few more, and then stop. And now see if you can tap the back of your hara, or like Michelle said, put your hands on your kidneys and rub that area a little bit. Get some sensation in your low back. And then start to move from that place. And again, if you can have a sense that there's some universal energy behind you, and you can think of pictures of the night sky and the galaxies and solar systems and all the stars. It's like there are stars behind you moving you from the place of your heart. And stop for a moment. Okay, and then you can rub the back of your neck or tap the back of your neck a little bit. Just get some sensation back there. And then once you have some sensation in the back of your neck, let's do some turns from that place. And again, inviting universal energy to come through that place. Galaxies, universes, stars. Whatever's in space when you've seen a picture of space. Maybe the moon. Few more turns. Okay, let's stand for a minute. And then just see if you can have a sense of if the galaxies and the stars were behind you. What would it feel like? Where would they want to touch you? Where would the night sky be most accessible in your back? Your neck, your heart, your hara. And then move from wherever you can feel the most sensation or awareness. It's like the stars are behind you, they're moving. Few more turns. Okay, and then let's just stand for a minute. Just see if you notice if there's a sense of you're connected to something bigger. If we're talking about birth, the birth of the stars, of stardust. Our planet was born from stardust. And it can be all around us. Okay, let's have a little check-in. So any way we can play around with connecting to something more than just our bodies. And if we're going to talk about birth, the ultimate birth would be our universe. And that came from, according to those who say they know, came from stars exploding. So was there any sense that you could get even a little tiny feel of connecting to something kind of universal birthness, as it were?
I with the neck and the head, I felt O-sensei's vision coming through, and I just started crying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
like so grateful to his example as a human being. You know,
Yes.
of what we might actually open to, and the infinite possibilities.
Beautiful. Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah.
There's an app called Star Walk. And I think it costs $5 or something like that, but it's incredible because it not only can you turn it on, you can see where all the stars are, but you can move it so you can see where the stars are in the southern hemisphere and you can move it around. But it has all these pictures of galaxies and solar systems and videos of stars and galaxies. And I love to look at it because it helps my spirit kind of go, oh, when I see that. You know how they sometimes draw a picture of like the galaxy, and then they'll have this arrow with this tiny little spot, and they'll say that's our solar system. You know, and it's a tiny little spot in this huge galaxy. So for me, it's good every now and then to think of that, how huge and vast. There's sort of universes out there. And that's actually part of me. Or Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about how, you know, we're all made of stardust because that's what the planet is made of. And I think when we contemplate that or think about that, it can take us out of our little I, me. I want this, I need that. I need to control the sky.
I have another thought about this also. It's that my neck feels so sweet right now. It feels really sweet, and I want to be sweet to it. I want to just touch my head sweetly and gently in my neck, and just like loving kindness to my head and my neck.
That's very nice, yeah. Well, our whole back, you know, we often, I mean, the nice thing about Aikido is we roll. And so the back gets some massage.
It's important.
It gets some energy. And normally, you know, who we are is the bathroom mirror. That's how we experience ourselves. We don't experience ourselves, you know, all the way down, and especially we don't often experience the sensation of our backs. And yet that's a beautiful, valid part of us. And when we're in flow and something's coming through us, it only makes sense that it's coming through the body.
It's good. Thank you.
Sensei, I can feel more centered or balanced when thinking about the small of the back or the heart area. As soon as I went up to the back of the neck, there was a little bit more of kind of calibration, let's say, balance wise in the scheme of things. But then it was a really nice sensation or warmth feeling, and could feel sort of the stars or thinking about it in a way of like tracers with stars as I was moving when you asked us to have your body, what would feel the best place, or what would feel, where would the stars be at your back kind of feeling, and letting that sort of come through.
Nice, I like that.
And I do love going up to, like, it's one of the joys of being up in Tahoe is being able to look at the stars and at night, and just the sort of the brilliance of it all.
Well,
I mean, you probably have that where you're at in Oregon, but I don't have that.
Well, yes.
here.
Yes, not quite as much as, because there are some lights around, but it's much brighter than it was in Marin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I remember going down the Grand Canyon, we'd always try to schedule our trips when there was not a full moon.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't see the stars when there was a full moon, and the stars are so bright that you could, you know, practically read a book. Like the Milky Way is so bright when there's no ambient light that you can read a piece of paper just from the light from the Milky Way, and just has that sense of that hugeness. And I think that's really good for us to like get out of the smallness of me and the smallness of our concerns and our irritations, and just for a moment have that sort of sense of connecting to something bigger. And you know, the universe in terms of galaxies and space is one way to visualize that or think about it.
Yeah, many times driving up at night, it's been so brilliant that I've had to like just stop. I was actually driving in Arizona going close to the Grand Canyon, and there was no moon, and it was so surreal feeling that I had to stop and just sort of bask in this brightness and this light.
I know, it's quite remarkable. And then we realized that, gosh, you know, the lights of the cities really We don't
Knocking
get
that
to,
out.
we don't get to remember that or appreciate it. But that's why this wonderful little app, Star Walk, gives you glimpses if you're into that kind of thing. It's got all kinds of pictures and videos and cool stuff on it. You're into it. Or you can just go on the internet and look at pictures of space and galaxies and things like that. Okay, well, let's get our book and we'll do our, so just one little thing that it says here, if the combination of voice, body, and mood allows people to perform optimally, then we are connected to the universe, and the wonderful functioning of individual ki can be brought to life. So that unification of using our voice, our body, in this case, our mind, our intention, to have something that we want to manifest in the world, hopefully something positive. So let's take our book hands. Okay, bringing our book hands out, let's stand with our feet, shoulders width apart, and stir the cosmic soup, inviting wisdom traditions from all times, all places, and all eons to come and support our intentions for good in the world. And lightning ride to heaven and bringing it into us. Oh. And then taking a moment and inviting the stars at our back to come through us, through our arms, through our both hands out into the world. Energy from above, energy from below, ki all around us. And then let's say our declaration, ready and. I wish to remind people of more joyful perseverance in the world and send it out. I wish to awaken more joyful perseverance in the world. Send it out. I wish to awaken more joyful perseverance in the world. Cut, send it out, again, and then a ki. Hi! And then just let your body feel that for a moment. And then invite a little bit more universal energy. Stars at our back, the earth below us, the heavens above us, and say our declaration. I wish to invite more joyful perseverance in the world. Send it out. I wish to invite more joyful perseverance in the world. Send it out.
What should you do that best?
I wish to activate more joyful perseverance in the world. Send it out, and again, and then a ki. Hi! Again, one last one, because threes are so good. Again, the stars at our back coming through us, portals in our neck or our heart or our hara, and saying our declaration. I wish to invite more joyful perseverance in the world. Send it out. I wish to invite more joyful perseverance in the world. Send it out. I wish to invite more joyful perseverance in the world. Send it out, and again, and then the big ki. Hi! And just standing in it for a moment, sensing all that flowing through us, our intention going out into the world. Okay, let's put our both hands to the side. Putting our both hands away. Taking a moment to get ready for a little heaven and earth breathing. And let's dip down, bringing energy up from the earth, touching the stars and opening out. Drawing from the earth, reaching for the stars, opening. And then just letting the movement come through us at the speed and time it wants to. Remembering the universe at our backs. Starlight flowing through us. long breaths. Connecting the earth and the stars. Two more. And now let's just stand in it for a moment. See if we can open ourselves, connecting to something bigger. Sending some positive energy out into the world, positive ki. A moment of appreciation for our friends and training partners, for our community, our global community all over the world, for our teachers and mentors, and for O Sensei's vision. And appreciation for our own hearts. Let's bow out. Domo arigatou gozaimashita.
Arigato, sensei. Gozaimashita.
So, thank you all for joining. There's a Japanese word called nen, and it's described as unity of spirit. And he says, O Sensei is referring to determined concentration, which excludes all trivial or selfish thoughts. So unity of spirit, O Sensei is referring to determined concentration, which excludes all trivial or selfish thoughts. So I really like that. And it goes with joyful perseverance in terms of how do we have determined concentration to go beyond our limited small ego self, to connect to our bigger resourceful self. And this was one way of thinking about it. Any way we can think about it. Anything to get our attention off of the me. I'm this, I'm that, and into the universe is, if we want to do a me, we'd say the universe is in me, and I am the universe, the way Sensei did. So how do I start to pay attention to that so that it becomes familiar? Because what's familiar is our small self. And to connect to our larger self, we have to relate with it. We have to think about it. We have to play with it. We have to do little exercises. It's the only way we're going to start to orient differently. So thought I would just end with that and say anything you can do along the lines of relating to something bigger, and know from Aikido that we can actually manifest it. We've all had glimpses where something bigger has come to us. So thank you for joining, and Greg, thank you for hosting. And if you have any thoughts, you can always shoot me an email, and anything you'd like to explore or go look at again. And next week, same time.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thanks, Sensei. Thank y'all. Good to see you.
Thank
Thank
you. Thank
Good
you
to
all.
see you. Thank you, Greg. Glad you're better.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
Greg, thank you, sensei.
Thanks,
Everybody.
Kat.